Don't worry about your markings being ugly. We can wipe this away at the end with some acetone or isopropyl alcohol. Okay, so one of the things I recommend doing when you're making your brass breech is crown the inside like lip where the dart kind of goes into right here using a deburring tool. I use a deburring tool. You can use sandpaper or something. And on the bolt, this kind of allows the dart to slide in more easily and kind of like guides it. And when you're doing it on the bolt, it will allow it to kind of like guide the brass barrel into it. This is what it should look like when you're done, if my camera could focus. So one common mistake I see a lot of people doing is not including a dart finger in their brass breech, which is this elongated 17/32 piece. The reason you want to have a dart finger is because without it, the bolt will snag onto the lower dart in your magazine and cause jams. And also, when the dart reaches the barrel, it will be slightly misaligned, so feeding into the barrel will be very difficult, and this can also cause jams. Another mistake I see is not making the dart finger long enough. If the dart finger is not long enough, it will slightly like push the bottom of the dart up a little bit, and this will also cause the bolt to snag on the lower dart and cause jams. Another topic I want to cover is shell reinforcement. These are shell supports I found on Thingiverse by the user Flechette Spectre. I'll leave a link in the description. And what they do is they prevent this plastic bit from snapping under high spring loads. As far as bolt sled reinforcement, you can either purchase an aftermarket bolt, like this one from the Orange Model Stage 2 kit, which is what I bought, or you can also get a metal bolt sled like this Artifact one, which I got for $30 from Light Take. The final option you can do is you can do the shell reinforcement yourself. Right here you can see that I have some metal sheets that I used and just epoxied them onto the side of the bolt. For the catch, all you have to do is remove these two screws and there will be a good catch up to 60 kg underneath here. It will be slightly wider than the stock catch, so all you have to do to install it is remove this. Instead of putting it on, as you can see, it won't fit on because it's too wide. You have to seat it in here first. I recommend using a screwdriver and just position it properly. This is what it should look like installed. Make sure your barrels are centered. In order to do this, you can either print these spacers from Thingiverse, and these help center your barrel, which is one option in order to get your blaster more accurate. Another thing you can do is make sure, if you're gonna go the electrical tape route, make sure you have multiple wraps of electrical tape throughout your barrel to ensure that it is aligned inside this full barrel. To pad the plunger, I'm just using some foam sheeting material I got from Walmart. Okay, so by far the biggest mistake I see is with the seal. The seal for the bolt shouldn't be too tight, as there's two O-rings to prevent any air leakage, and also, if you make it really tight, pushing this back will be very hard, and this will result in the prime weight. Maybe on a 10 kg spring, it will feel like an 18 kg spring, so you want to make sure this isn't very tight. Do not make your plunger seal too tight. The whole entire point of putting a bigger spring in here is so your plunger travels faster in order to get a higher velocity. If you make your seal too tight, this plunger will travel very slowly, and it will result in a decrease in FPS. You want to just test and tune. For this, I'm using the orange Modworks O-ring, and I have 2 wraps of electrical tape underneath here. For the bolt, I'm just using some two big O-rings that I got from a O-ring kit that I bought a while back, and I have 2 wraps of electrical tape underneath this here. You're probably not going to find these exact O-rings, but just experiment. Make sure that it's not too tight, but there's still like a good way to check if your seal is good is just look through here, and if there's any light showing through the O-rings, then that's bad. But if there's not, then it's fine. Alright, so now I'm gonna move on to putting everything back together. For this build, I'm gonna be using a 10 kg turf spring and the stock spring for about 13.5 kilograms. Alright, so this is what the internals look like. One thing I will do later is I will go back and add hot glue right here in order to make sure that my dart finger is aligned. Thank you all very much for watching. In the next episode, I will cover barrel length, barrel waxing, and everything you need to know in order to get better performance and accuracy.